Hello everyone, this is Venugopal. Today in this session, we'll see the inheritance concept in Python programming. Inheritance means acquiring properties from parent class to child class or base class to derived class or old class to new class is called inheritance. So basically this inheritance is used for reusability of code. The purpose of using this inheritance is reusability of code. Means already some lines of codes are existing, right? Just we use that code as it is and we'll do some modification. So it's ultimate to reduce the code. So we'll see practically what exactly, and there are multiple types of inheritance like single inheritance, typing mistake, then multi-level, then multiple, hierarchical, hierarchical and hybrid inheritance. There are multiple inheritance. We'll see the concept how we are going to perform practically. For that purpose, we'll open the PyCharm editor. I type one program like class. I'll type like base class, right? Inside this base class, simply I'll write one method. For example, define one a function f1 and I'll print one message. This is f1 from base, that is base class. Okay, now how to do inheritance, right? If you see my class and objects video, there I have explained, it means we have multiple types of declaring class. For example, if I want to uh, define one class, here I'll write. So we'll write what class. There are multiple approaches. Out of that approaches, we have one more approach called as my class is deriving from, for example, object class. Okay, like I said in that video, this means what? Every class is the child class of this object class. So similarly, this is a normal class which is inheriting the object class. So in this case, this object class will become a parent class or base class, and this class will become a child class. So exactly based on that, what we will do, we'll derive one more class. Class derived. Now this class I want to derive from which class? Base class. So we need to write in the brackets base class. And here the body of the derived class. So function f2. And here simply I'll print a message. Print f2 from derived class. So there are two classes now. One is a base class, another is a derived class. The derived class is deriving from the base class. Okay, obviously this base class is deriving from the object class. Like we said, every class is the child class of the object class. Okay, now we'll create the object of the class. So for which class we should create the object of the class? If we'll create the, it is possible to create the object for the base class? Absolutely yes. Suppose if I'll create the object for base class like this. Okay, with the help of this object, I can only access the f1 function. Okay, so I can access only what? B dot f1 function, because that function belongs to base class. But if I'll create the object of the derived class, d is equals to derived, and here I can access d dot f2 as well as because I have inheriting this derived class from the base class, this f1 function is also derived here, and it is situated in the derived class virtually. That means what? If I want to access the f1 also, you can also access f1 with the help of derived class object. Now you can see the advantages of this derived class, or you can also see the advantages of what the inheritance does. Right here in the base class, you can only access the methods which are belongs to the base class. But here in the derived class, as this derived class is deriving from the base class, you can access the methods of the derived class as well as the methods of base class. Now, if I'll execute this, you can find out the output. Oh, sorry, this executes the previous program. Right click, run interface, that will execute f1 from the base class. This method is calling with the help of this object of base class. But if you see the second object d.f2, the method from derived class, and d.f1, the method from base class. So obviously with this program you can come to the conclusion that always it will be better to create the object of the derived class so that we can access all the base class methods. So this is a simple program which is also a type of single inheritance. In single inheritance, what happened? The inheritance in which it has a single base class and single derived class. Or you can say that a one derived class is deriving from only one base class is called as a single inheritance. Okay, now we'll make some changes here. Suppose if I want to access the methods without calling from here, I want to access to call that method from this one. I mean, we have d.f2. If I'll execute this one, check it out the program first. This gives me, this giving me only one output, right? What is that? F2 from derived class, because we have called only F2 function. But inside F2, suppose I want to call the class, the methods, superclass methods from this derived class. So whenever you want to call the superclass method, that is f1, from the derived class method, we have to use one keyword called as super keyword. So using super dot f1, super dot f1. Okay, now what we are doing here, what happened? D is derived, d dot f2, f2 is calling, then we have calling the super function, super dot, oh sorry, I missed the parenthesis. Why it is giving error? Sorry, it's a f1 now. It's a f1. Fine. Okay. So my bad. I have not used this syntax error. Okay. Now what happened here? I'm calling d.f2. F2 function will be called. Inside F2, I want to access the superclass method, that is F1. So if I want to access from the derived class, the superclass method, I have to use the which keyword? Super keyword. If I'll execute now, what happened? It will print first the superclass method output, that is from base class, and then it will print a the derived class method. So this program is basically for how to access superclass method from the derived class. So the answer is very simple. With the help of super keyword, you can access the methods of the superclass method, base class method. Okay, so just I'm writing here accessing superclass method using super keyword. I hope you can note down these points. Okay, so that's it. So this is the program how to access the superclass method using a super keyword. Now let us move for another program. Now how to access different variables in the inheritance, like we have already seen the local variables, like instance variables, parent variables, child variables. So what we will do for that purpose, we'll define one again one class that is called as a super base class. Inside this, sorry, inside this, suppose I'm taking two variables, m comma n is equals to 10 comma 20. Now these variables, you know that these variables are called as what? Class variables, because I'm directly defining, or parent class variables. You can more specifically, you can say that. Okay. And then I am defining one more class that is derived from base class. And this class also has some variables like x comma y equals to 4 comma 5. Now these are also called as what? Class variables. But these are the variables of what? Derived class variable. Okay. And after that, suppose I'm defining one function, define add. Inside this function, I'll declare two local variables, a comma b. And here, suppose I'm printing, I want to add this variable. So a plus b. These are the local variables. Already we have seen. If you are having any doubt, right, you can go and watch my types of variables video. Okay. So if I print a plus b, obviously it will print the value of a and b. Suppose if I want to access the class variables of the derived class, you know that how to access by using a self keyword, self dot x plus self dot y. Now this will access the class variables of derived class. You know that whenever I want to access the class variables, you have to use a self keyword. And what about these variables now? The class variables of base class now. So one solution is what? You can directly, when the variable names are different, then you will not having any, difficulty to access the variables. Here also you can use a self, because class variables again. So self dot, what is the variable name? M plus self dot n, because the variables are names are different, so that there is absolutely no problem. You can directly access. Okay, let us assume, suppose you are having a global variables as well, right? What are the global variables? For example, I'm taking I comma j. I comma j is equal to, now directly I'm taking 100 to just identify the values 200. Now you tell me how to access the global variable. Simply by using what? Direct names I plus j, because they are the global variables, and the names are not same, they are different, right? So we can access directly by using the direct name, global variables. These are global variables. Now let us create the object of the derived class. Okay, so d equals to derived, it is my class name, and I want to access d dot add. I need to pass two values. Suppose I'll pass 1 comma 2. That's it. And if I'll execute this, you can see the output. The first, because I am passing 1 and 2, this 1 and 2 goes to this local variable a and b. The 1 plus 2 is the 3, the first answer. Second answer is 4, 5, self dot x plus y, 4 plus 5 is 9. Third answer, the class variables of the base class, that is 10 plus 20 is 30. And finally, I am accessing what? A global variables. The global variables value is 100 plus 200, that is 300. Absolutely, there is no problem, because the global, local, and the instance variable, all the variable names are different. But what if all the variable names are same? Let us consider now, this is also I, j, exactly same program I have taken in the types of types of variables. You please go and watch that video to better understanding what I'm doing here. Again, this one, I, j, The program is different because this same thing I'm doing in the inheritance concept. The concept is different. Now here also, now let us discuss this one. I want to print this I plus j. So local variable, we can directly use by I and j. Absolutely no problem. But now this second one is what? We want to access this ij of the derived class variables. Okay, so this works perfectly with the help of self.i and self.j. Now you cannot access by using self keyword to access the base class variables because the names are same, right? So what we need to do now, just like what we have accessed the superclass method, if I want to access the superclass variables also, instead of self, you have to use the keyword super dot m, and you have to use super dot n. Now this super represents that you're accessing the superclass variables in the derived class. Now for the global variables, as in my that video already we have mentioned, we have a keyword function globals dot. You have to mention the name like I and plus globals dot. We have to mention j. Sorry, this is also I need to change to j, and this also change to I. That's it. The program is same. Now you can check. I'll change this value to like 1 1 and 2 2 for different output. Now if I'll execute, you will find out the different values. This is 33 because 11 plus 22 now this time I have passed, and the rest of the things will be same. So make sure whenever you're having different kind of variables of same name, then we must use how to access local variables, how to access the instance variables of the derived class, how to access the instance variables of the base class, and how to access the global variables of the uh, uh, class. So this is all about a basic introduction and the different programs to understand the inheritance concept. So keep watching videos. I'll make some other videos in my upcoming videos. Keep watching. Till then, bye bye.